Hi, I'm Celia. I've been a certified teacher for more than 25 years, working with children in grades pre-K through 12 on math and literacy skills. I already have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, and am currently pursuing another one in applied cognition and neuroscience, because I have spent more than half of my career working with children who have learning or developmental disabilities, and I want to be better equipped to help more kids and their families. So you might be asking then, why is this video about play when there are so many problems that children are facing? Why should we care about play? Shouldn't we focus instead on school and getting ready for school and just let kids play when they have some free time? Well, given that most kids play and like to play, and most kids go to school, I think it's important to find out if imaginative play can positively impact children's development and increase school readiness, increase positive outlook towards school, increase positive peer interactions, and ultimately bridge achievement gaps. To help me and you, I decided to dig into the research a little bit and ask, does imaginative play have a role in the development of executive functioning skills and prosocial behavior? It turns out that play research is actually pretty difficult because laboratory methods and adult interference interrupt play and alter it in ways that make it hard to study. But play researchers are pretty creative themselves, and they still come up with a lot of different and reliable ways to do research. The various research results from various scientists can seem kind of disconnected, honestly, because of their different focuses, as well as, honestly, a lack of shared definitions. I'm going to try to bring it together for you and set the stage here in video 1, clarify what we know so far in video 2, and let you know how adults can help children play in video 3. The links for the other videos are in the description. And by the way, when you see names and a date in parentheses, here's an example, that is referring to the research I looked at. I'll have a list of all of them at the ends of each video in case you're interested in reading some of them. Let's talk first about play as part of development. Play is a universal behavior seen across cultures that develops in the same basic sequence despite cultural variations in themes and how much time is spent playing. Researchers have agreed on the stages of play development for many years because they are easy to see in children, regardless of what country a child is born in, not unlike learning to crawl before walking or learning to talk before writing. What researchers do not agree on, however, is why do children play? You may say, well, kids play because it's fun, and you would be right, but that doesn't fully get at why most kids go through the same stages of play development. There must be a reason that the brain goes through these stages. Debates about the function of play in child development go back at least to Piaget and Vygotsky, who are famous psychologists known for their child development theories. Piaget thought play was epiphenomenal, meaning it's a product or a byproduct of some other aspect or aspects of development. Vygotsky likely would have argued that play is crucial or foundational and the basis on which cognition builds. There is a third possibility, and that is that play is equifinal, meaning it promotes development, but it's not the only possible path for development. I am going to lean into this third stance, just to be transparent with you, for 2 reasons. The first is, I think newer research based on larger numbers of children supports it, particularly multiple interventions done by Rachel Thibodeau and her colleagues. These researchers found strong evidence that imaginative play helps develop executive function skills. But in their follow-up intervention with a more diverse group of children, they did find that some students will develop EF skills through other means and activities. These findings show equifinality, or multiple paths of development, rather than showing that play isn't a possible path. The second reason that I embrace that play is equifinal in children's brain development is because it is clearly a path, it is a fun path, and it's a cheap path. You might not care about these controversies, but you should know about them because These are the controversies that governments are basing their decisions on when they make decisions about what will be happening in curriculums for our young children. Particularly, how long should children be allowed to play while at school, or if they should be allowed to play while at school. Now, there are researchers who have looked at the evidence for play and declared that there is a pro-play bias in the research and in policymakers. Specifically, that they exaggerate the benefits of play. But why would they think this? It turns out those critical of play research tend to prefer very controlled and traditional research methods, which I've already mentioned make kids, well, change their play or not want to play at all, and then how would we study play? What these critics never address, however, but which we as parents, teachers, and caregivers to children must keep in mind is the data about actual achievement. Here in the United States, as a nation, we have ranked near the bottom of lists of other developed countries for academic outcomes for decades, despite the 1989 National Education Goals, which were proposed by President George H.W. Bush and agreed upon by all 50 states, and yet not achieved by their goal date of the year 2000, and so they expired at the end of the Clinton administration. Despite a revamp of the idea under President George W. Bush as the No Child Left Behind Act, and then again by President Obama as the Race to the Top policy. Our academic outcomes have not declined, but they have flatlined. We have not improved as a country, apart from becoming more schoolish, even in preschool classrooms, and perhaps to the detriment of our children, because a heightened focus on academics in early childhood classrooms may be stressful for children and may negatively impact their motivation, self-confidence, and attitudes towards school. Children's learning and development is complicated. I don't want you to think that there is some binary view as simple as children play to learn or children don't play to learn. But that is the going framework for public educational policy. It helps to know a little bit more about the controversies surrounding play, but let's not get hung up on policy when what we're really here to do is to know more about play. There are different types of play. Types of play include rule-based exercise gross motor games, rough and tumble play, tabletop and video games, and imaginative play that can further be divided into sociodramatic play and fantasy-oriented play. Sociodramatic play is when a child pretends to be another person, whether known or fictional, that has real-life qualities or jobs that a child cannot experience firsthand, like pretending to be a fireman or a teacher. Fantasy-oriented play is also a type of role-playing, but the child pretends to be an animal or sets the play in an alternate reality that has elements that are not possible in real life, like being a superhero. Each of these types of play can vary in complexity of rules and goals, the number of people involved, and the types of objects needed to play, if any. Not just children play, adults play too. But the height of imaginative play development is between the ages of 3 and 5, during the preschool years, though some play begins to show in children's development around age 18 months. Children don't usually confuse play with reality, even if they play for extended periods of time or have an imaginary friend. As children reach the preschool years, their play becomes more abstract, and they may pretend that one thing is another. Hello? Yes, thank you for calling. I'm busy. Yeah, I'll call you right back. Or have no prop at all. Thank you. It's good. I kind of need to eat it later. I'm a little busy. Thanks. because these preschool years are the school readiness years. And these are the years when imaginative play is at its highest and sport has not yet taken over the schedule. Let's focus on this age group and this type of play. Meet me in video 2 to explore how imaginative play connects to school readiness and what the current research is finding out about the role of imaginative play in the development of executive functions and prosocial behaviors. The link to video 2 is in the description below. If you want to take down the research sources, I'll show them for a few moments here.